Well, here we are on the road to Belfast. It's 10 minutes to 2 and I'm approaching the little jewel towns or little jewel villages of Bealtaine and Black Lion. So we're very close now to the border with Northern Ireland. So those of you who want to trace this journey on a map, I've come from the village of Keju. I've gone into Drumshanbo. Oh, by the way, I've posted off books and maps that had to be posted. I've then driven along the north shore of Loch Allen, and Allen is spelt A-L-L-E-N, Loch Allen. So that road brought me up to, I'm going to be careful because there's a car behind me here, so I may just, there's people walking up ahead. Okay, so that brought me up through Balnaglera and a little village called Dowra, D-O-W-R-A. So we're still in the Irish Republic. When we go up through Black Lion and cross over into Bealtaine, we will then be in Northern Ireland. And from there we're going to drive to Enniskillen, and then from Enniskillen all the way up then to Belfast. As you can see, it's an absolutely stunning day. I'm just going to turn this camera around a little bit so you get to see a little bit more of the countryside. Actually, I may just turn it back this way because there's some nice hills ahead. So now this is the little village of Black Lion that we're coming into. Black Lion is right beside what's called the Cavan Burren, B-U-R-R-E-N. Any of you who are familiar with the Burren itself in County Clare will know that the Cavan Burren is a similar, it's a kind of a geopark, except probably park is the wrong word, but there are some beautiful old limestone plateaus and everything up there. Now, this itself is a little border town, and during the Troubles in Northern Ireland, this was a major crossing point, and there was a customs post up here on this bridge, and there was a huge British Army sort of garrison, and sometimes you'd be held up here for anything up to an hour just crossing. So we're crossing the bridge and we're now in Bealtaine. So Bealtaine now is in Northern Ireland, which is part of the UK. The landscape is a little bit different actually. You will see lots and lots of old trees, which is something I love about coming up into Northern Ireland. There's less wild land, and the land itself seems to have more of a structure in terms of agriculture. Of course, those of you who know my story know that I was born up in Oma, County Tyrone, in Northern Ireland. So I'm very familiar with the landscape up here. Although I sit very easily just living in Ireland. Yes, there are some political differences, but it is at the end of the day one very beautiful little country on the very western edges of Europe. Now there's some stunning scenery here. I'm going to pull in, there's a little parking bay up here. So I'm going to pull in because I want to show you this absolutely gorgeous loch and beautiful landscape behind it. Now look at this, isn't this fabulous? You see the snow on the mountains over there. It's an absolutely gorgeous drive to come from Bealtaine Cottage up into the north of Ireland, into Northern Ireland, and say to go shopping in Enniskillen. Now, I need to have my wits about me, pull it out here. Okay. So we're now in County Fermanagh. So we've come from County Roscommon, where Bealtaine Cottage is, through County Leitrim, where Drumshambo and Loch Allen is, to County Cavan, where Black Lion is, and now we've crossed the border and we're in County Fermanagh. So we've managed to drive through 4 counties. After I left Ardcarn this morning, I went back to the cottage and I filled up all the bird feeders. And that made me feel really good. I felt as though I'd done another little thing there for Mother Earth and all her beautiful, beautiful birds. I'm so lucky to have gracing Bealtaine Cottage. And I was just saying this morning about doing whatever we can to help tip those scales in favour of Mother Earth. Just doing whatever we can. So reducing our own needs and maximising her needs. Well, it's a very simple strategy. And it's a strategy that will make you feel much happier and much more in partnership with her. These beautiful mountains over here. Because despite all the doom and gloom and all the arrogance, the sheer arrogance of people saying that we're a blight on the earth, everything's doomed. Do you know, I think people like that are just unbelievably arrogant, because how how dare they think that they know what's going to happen? And and I think that people like that are tied into the very problem itself. And the problem has always been the arrogance of patriarchal control. And patriarchal control, in its very essence, is so misogynistic that at the very worst aspect, it loathes the female. And at the very most forgivable aspect, it dislikes the female intensely. And within that thinking comes a very dark reaction to Mother Earth herself. Because of course Mother Earth has always been regarded as a female entity. Female. And is it little wonder that every major religion in the world will tell you, don't look around you, look up into the heaven and look into the next life, because the next life is more important than this life. Well, you see, that to me just doesn't make sense, that's all. It doesn't make sense. Because life is such a short journey, life is so important, and to live in harmony with she who gives us life, which is this beautiful earth, to live in harmony with her should be what life is all about. And it should be how we are educated from the cradle to the grave. In the same way as within religion we're taught to respect our parents, the greatest parent of all is the Great Mother, Mother Earth. She's so beautiful. So beautiful and so joyful. Now, in consideration of the fact that I'm heading towards a Wi-Fi spot in Belfast, I'm going to let some of these videos go on a little bit longer, and hopefully I'll be able to upload them without too much hassle. So this one is 13 minutes. I'll let this run till about 15.